Yeah,
later.
right. They're just not versatile at all.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking snap. Are you kidding?
Compared to the Beatles,
but
it's dude. They invented bands. They're the
No,
first band.
No, they're not. What the fuck?
Yeah, last night, the Beatles stuff. I don't know about that. I'm sorry, but then
You don't
also,
even know the Beatles. I bet you haven't even listened to the Beatles.
Beardson recommended me his one song, and he was like, "Oh,
I mean,
this
to
is
be
like the best
fair,
song ever."
I'm not.
And it
I'm not a
was
Beatles fan. To be fair, so I mean, I
What'd
do
you
think,
recommend? What did you play?
Strawberry Fields.
Oh, dude. I mean, yeah, that's a great song, but
I didn't see the appeal. I'm sorry. I thought it was like pretty.
somebody played him a Blackbird too.
Oh yeah, I played Blackbird too. That was better, but it wasn't like the best thing in the world.
Blackbird's great. You gotta listen to the White Album.
The White Album.
The Beatles' White Album. It's the greatest, one of the greatest albums of all time.
Okay.
Is that the one with like a paperback rider on it? I don't remember.
I don't know if Paperback Rider's on there.
That's
I
a
don't
I don't think it
catchy
is.
song.
That's an earlier hit, I believe.
I don't know. People are talking about the Beach Boys. I think the appeal to the Beach Boys is like all their songs kind of like sound the same. So
No, that's that's not
so
true.
true.
No, that's not true
well,
at
no,
all.
no, no. I'm not saying it's like
Early
a bad
Beach
thing.
Boys,
I'm saying
maybe.
all their songs sound the same. So if you like one, you pretty much like all.
No, dude, this is like I'm gonna rip my hair out. Like, are you kidding me? Have you ever heard like no, dude? Like you've never done a deep dive into the Beach Boys, and if you think that all sounds the same, like listen to something like Surf's Up versus, you know, like I don't know, fucking their Christmas album or their early shit. Like they got like really experimental.
Yeah,
later.
right. They're just not versatile at all.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking snap. Dude, are you kidding?
Compared to the Beatles?
But here's the thing.
Dude, the Beatles were ripping Brian Wilson off.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's confirmed, man. Like,
That's just
I don't know.
freaking-
Like,
I think
literally-
The Beatles is very overrated, and I just can't.
You don't even know. You don't even know the Beatles. You'd have.
I'll listen to
sorry.
the White Album and I'll let you know what I think. But
Okay,
so
no,
far,
You're not
Grant.
entitled to an opinion because you don't know what you're talking about.
That doesn't make any
okay?
sense because the Beatles is like one of the most played bands of all time. I've heard a
You don't know
million
any
Beatles
of,
songs.
No, you have not. You don't know any of their.
Okay,
hits.
all right. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing to say. That's a ridiculous
This
thing to
guy
say.
listened to
Dude.
Yellow Submarine and says, "I hate the Beatles."
I don't even
Dude.
think I listened to Yellow Submarine. I forget what I listened to last night, but you were like, "Oh, that's too mainstream" or something like that. I don't remember what it was. I
All
think
right,
it was
Brant. You have homework. You have to listen to the White Album, but then you also have to listen to the Smile Sessions by the Beach Boys, and then tell me, oh, it all sounds the same.
I'm saying I like the Beach Boys. That's why I like them. Is they're like consistent.
But you don't even like the real Beach Boys. You like the early stuff. It's
The
not even the
real
real
Beach Boys.
It's not even
Listen
the
to this
real
code.
Beach Boys.
The real, as opposed to what the fake Beach Boys.
Well, no, this is like listening to like early. It's like the same with like early Beatles stuff. Like this is not the real Beatles, you know.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Like I mean,
Of course it is. It's essential because it shows their development from a pop rock band and sort of boy band era, and then they grow up and then they
it's the
mature.
same. It's the same with the Beach Boys, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but it's not. One era is not fake.
I'm not saying it's fake. Okay, I retract that. Maybe it's not fake, but you know what I mean. It's like watching the first half of a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just vote to represent the fucking whatever.
Okay.
All right.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Paul, this was true. Thank you, Shib, for reminding me. The Beach Boys was Paul McCartney's favorite band. So
And so what?
Yeah, and
Is
literally,
Paul McCartney the dead one, or is that a different guy?
no, he's like the only
No.
alive one actually.
Oh, okay. I don't know who I'm thinking of. Maybe.
I mean, I guess technically
John
Ringo's still
Lennon.
alive, but who
Oh,
cares?
that's the one who married the Asian woman, right? And then she like
Yoko
broke the
Ono.
Beatles or whatever. I don't know what
Yeah.
the lore is.
Yeah, dude. Paul, honestly, like everyone gives John shit for that, but honestly, he was like the first person to really fall for the fucking e-girl. You know what I mean? It's like he didn't have a precedent.
Yeah, I forget. My dad was talking about the Beatles one time, and he was like, "Yeah, John Lennon and Imagine," or I guess he has a song named Imagine, and my dad was like, "Yeah, he just couldn't imagine the bullet not in his brain," or something like that. I forget the joke, but something stupid like that. But I don't know. Like I said, Beatles. Okay.
They're the greatest band of all time. There's literally no argument.
I think that that's a heavy label, I think you're applying it to.
It's dude. They invented bands. They're the first band.
No, they're not. What the fuck?
That doesn't make any sense. What about like people like the Ink Spots? That's like in the 30s.
Yeah, that's not a band. That's not a band like the Beatles. Sorry.
What does the band have to do? Like play guitar? Like what's the
first band, the Beatles? Come on.
Just when you're comparing the Ink Spots to the Beatles, like
you said they're the first band. I said, well,
literally.
I can think of a band like what's the Platters? I would consider that a band.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, like what's the requirement for like being a band? Like having a guitar or just being like a up and coming
They're like
fellow?
the first mod. Yeah, you're talking about people that are in a group or something, but they created the first true band, the first great rock band of the world, and they created all of the rock sounds come from the innovation that the Beatles created. Okay.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're the best. And I'm gonna play to your vanity here. No,
there's
it
like
doesn't.
A lot of
because you're
like
not the first
stuff,
political dissonant right live streamer, but you're still the best, you know.
Yeah, on a technical level.
There's still a lot of like sampled, like music is sampled a lot though. So I mean, I don't know if I would.
I'm not saying they're like the greatest musicians of all time, like they're not the greatest guitar players of all time, but they are the greatest. They're the most versatile, innovative, influential rock band in history, and that you just cannot dispute.
I would give them influential, maybe, for sure.
I think that's just because people had bad taste in the 60s and the 70s.
I mean, like, I don't mean the dog on the Beatles too much. Like, there's some of their stuff I do enjoy, and it's definitely more like the experimental stuff, like Magical Mystery Tour, Sgt. Pepper, that sort of stuff I really like. But, I mean, I don't know. The greatest ever, no. Beach Boys, by a mile.
That's just so.
You would have no White Album without Pet Sounds. That's
if someone like,
whoa, hang on, look at this. This ship is full of stuff. That just isn't true. No White Album without Pet Sounds.
Yeah, that is true. And even the Beatles would tell you that.
If I was trapped on an island for like the rest of my life and I had to choose between listening to the Beatles and the Beach Boys, I would probably choose the Beach Boys.
Yeah, well, you don't know anything, so.
I'll listen to your album that you're telling me to, but.
You need to listen to their entire discography. Okay, it's just essential to understanding music.
Okay. All right.
I'd say the same
when
about
I get
the Beach
around
Boys.
to it. I have a lot of like.
Oh yeah, you're a real busy guy.
Well, no, I was gonna say I have a lot of free time to listen to music. Yeah, I'm not like. Whenever I'm doing stuff, I'm typically music's in the background or something. Although I don't know if you like.
Right.
Does it require my full attention, or can I just like, casually listen?
You need to give it some attention.
Okay, all right.
You need to pay very close attention.
I'm playing some Beach Boys right now just to fucking shut my chat up, because now my chat's like, yeah, comment Nick W. No, it's not. Okay, and here's why. I'm counter signaling the leader here. Okay.
Listen, I don't dislike the Beach Boys. Okay, the Beach Boys are good.
I feel like you've never really listened to the deep stuff, though.
They're just, probably not, because I don't care. They're like not a great band.
They are. They're one of the greatest bands of all time.
That's just not even true, dude.
It is, and again, you wouldn't even have like the rivalry between the Beach Boys and the Beatles was so real that Paul McCartney and John Lennon broke into Brian Wilson's studio to listen to the music that he was making after Pet Sounds. And
yeah, I know, but the Beach Boys have not stood the test of time.
Oh, I think they have. I mean, I will say this, like.
What about the Little Saint Nick? That song's played like every year.
Yeah. How about that, Beardson?
No,
Little Saint Nick.
I'm gonna fucking rip my hair out. I swear, dude. Oh my god. No, Smile Sessions, man. It's like one of the greatest albums of all time.
I'm trying to.
Oh, there's a ship.
Oh, let's go.
It's about time.
Nick. Yeah, that's about right.
Dude, you're like.
Well, the Beach Boys are still relevant today. Oh, it's a skeleton ship.
I was just gonna say that looks like a skeleton ship. Let me check the map. Maybe there's like
What
a
about
Reapers.
Little Saint Nick? They still play that. Owned.
You're just gonna. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
It is true that what was it? Paul McCartney said that what's the Beach Boys song that is so overrated that everybody likes?
You're talking about probably maybe God Only Knows.
Yeah, God Only Knows. I think Paul or John said that was like the greatest song ever written.
Yeah, I think it's up there for sure.
Greatest song ever written.
Eric Clapton said that Something by the Beatles is the greatest song of all time.
I can't even imagine what I would choose for the greatest song ever written. That's...
Yeah, what would you choose, Bran? I'd just be so curious what your opinion is on that.
I don't know. People are saying I have wallpaper music. What does it even mean?
What are you, like 13?
No, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, what would I?
I think it's all in Brant's username. I think we all know what he thinks the greatest song is.
Yeah, Whip and Nay Nay.
Yeah, Silento was really a pioneer. Just when he made that, something. There was like some magic in that song. I don't know.
I will say, I think Strawberry Fields Forever, not written, but like the production on that song is like it is a beautiful sounding song.
I'd have to go through my playlists, and I'll let you know maybe in like a day or two what I think the greatest song ever is, because that's
yeah, Strawberry Fields is great. There's so many great hits by the Beatles, and so innovative. I mean, they were part of the times as well, part of the culture. You know, like just like Elvis was in a lot of ways. Like I would say Elvis is comparable to the Beatles. I think the Beach Boys are not, but Elvis is.
Oh no, no, the Beach Boys are definitely comparable to. I mean, like they may not be as relevant now, but I mean,
I think the Beach Boys are better than the Beatles, but I would say that Elvis is probably the only comparable person of the time.
You're talking about fame, though. I mean, and this is what I'm saying. Like, you're factoring in fame. I don't know. I don't think fame matters to the quality of what something sounds like.
I'm not talking about fame. I'm talking about impact. You know,
even though they had an impact, even though they had an impact on like the social fabric and the culture or whatever, they're still like really mid. So
you don't even know what you're talking about, though.
Well, here's the thing too. You have to keep in mind the Beach Boys literally impacted the Beatles, so it's like you can almost attribute anything that the Beatles, as far as impact goes, they did. Like they literally talk about it all the time, like how they fed off of one another, and like how when Paul McCartney heard Pet Sounds, it like inspired him, and he wanted to and he was like stealing some of their techniques that Brian Wilson introduced into.
Sure, and Elvis was influenced by Fats Domino. And Fats Domino's great, but he's not fucking Elvis. Okay, and that's the difference. Okay, and you're right. The Beatles interacted with the Beach Boys and had a reciprocal influence. But the Beatles, in terms of versatility, impact, standing the test of time, influence. It was called Beatlemania. Okay, it wasn't called Beach Mania.
Yeah, but again, this is about popularity, though. This is what I'm saying. It's like you're gauging popularity versus the quality of music.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even though they have all these things, like the music is just still like, you know. I think people like them a lot.
See, but you can't say that because you haven't even heard the music.
That's
true.
Just say,
I'll go listen,
the Beatles growing up. Like, yeah, okay.
I'll go listen, but I almost guarantee I'll have okay, maybe you're gonna say that's just because I have a mindset, but I'll listen. But that's my stance right now, and I'll let you know if I change it. I'm just saying, like, I think people like them because they're like young and they were from Britain.
No, dude.
And they're I don't know. That's what I think it was.
I think liking the Beatles is honestly anti-American too. Honestly, can we be real? Like liking the Beach Boys, the most American band of all time.
Yeah, well, I have a predisposition to hate anything like British.
Yeah, it is like inarguable that they are anti-American, but
yeah,
but they're still the greatest band ever. What does that say about America? America's a great Satan, so.
Yeah, but America had Elvis.
Yeah, honestly, fair. Yeah, Nick W on that one. I'll concede that. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the fuck.
Anti-American, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, what the fuck? As soon as the words even came out of my mouth, I'm like, what the fuck am I saying, dude? America sucks.
No, but they were like pro-drug and anti-Nixon. Nixon was based.
Yeah.